So, welcome back. I'm your girl, Ade Taylor Dende, your favorite host, and we're back to chat with Ade. And today we're here with a special guest. He needs to introduce himself, but give you a hint. Comedian, hmm, Netflix. Hmm. Anyways, I know you can't guess, so let me introduce you to my handsome guest this lovely today. His name is Mr. SLK.
Woo!
Also known as Olu
Yeah,
Salako,
yeah.
right?
Salako.
Salako.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I pronounced it right. Salako.
Yeah, Olu Salako.
Olu Salako. So
Yeah.
it's one name.
No.
Okay.
Olu Salako.
Salako.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me, Adi.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So first of all, the first question is going to be SLK.
Yeah.
So I was trying to see, maybe it's a coin from your name, but I'm not too sure. So I need you to please give me a breakdown of SLK. What does it stand for?
Sweet, loving, and I'm joking.
I was like, okay.
It's Salako, basically.
Okay,
I just took out the vowels. It's easier that way. I've been called that. It was actually my nickname in secondary school, so I just stuck to it. Yeah, SLK. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So that one is from high school.
Yeah, from high school.
Pretty much. And then we now have another one that you go by.
Which one is that?
It's like, I think it's part of your brand, something legend.
Oh, Young Legend.
Young Legend. So that one too is like a coined nickname.
Yeah. I just found it interesting. I started calling myself that probably 2016 or 2016 thereabouts. I just posted a picture. Oh, those captions. Young legend, and it kind of stuck. So everybody started calling me that. It became like my, let's say, sobriquet, or an appellation. Interestingly, in secondary school, I had a guy that used to just call me the legendary Salako. He used to call me Legend. This is Boyega, shout out to Boyega. He's a saxophonist now. But he used to just call me the Legend for no reason. So I guess it was a full circle moment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've probably had someone say Legend. You're not even old. Why are they calling you?
That's why I put the young there.
They don't ask too much question.
Yeah, Young Legend. Yeah.
Okay, so that's nice to know.
Thank you.
So we would like to know, aside from being a comedian, what else do you do?
Nothing. I'm a comedian. Like, that's it.
So before you became a comedian, what were you doing?
Nothing.
Really?
I started comedy when I was 18.
Oh.
Yeah. Started stand-up professionally when I was 18. But I've always been acting. I've always been, I was a kid actor. I was acting in school, basically. So maybe in that regard, you can say that was what I was doing before stand-up. But I still act. I still write. But stand-up in itself, which is my core, I started when I was 18.
So you went to school for something?
Yeah, apparently. But I came out with something else.
Oh my goodness. So how does your parents, though, how do they feel when, of course, they always send you to school to go and be somebody, and then you decide you don't want to be somebody?
I'm still somebody.
Somebody else.
I became somebody else. It was tough for them at first. But in the end, I feel like this thing is even kind of hereditary. My father was like the drama coordinator, even though he worked. I mean, he's a 9 to 5 as a corporate. But for his service in the church,
Yeah.
it was the drama head of the drama. I used to joke. I have a joke on it. I used to say that my father taught me how to hold the mic, which is true. He taught me how to hold the mic. He taught me how to maximize the stage. He taught me how to write. Yeah.
Um,
And then he was surprised that I became a comedian. Like, oh, you expecting me to be a dentist?
right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but that's it.
So are you the oldest
No. What do you mean oldest?
of children in the house?
No, no, no. I'm the second child.
Okay. Because they always have this expectation.
Nah, I'm the
First
second child.
child.
My elder brother gave them all the expectations. He
Uh-huh.
went through. He's a corporate guy, so yeah.
So check mark. They didn't have to put too much pressure on the rest of you guys.
Well, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, as in, like, he wanted the same thing for me too, so it was kind of disappointing at first.
So did you ever saw yourself even 17, 18 that this is exactly what you want to do? Or were you just like checking the waters to see if it will work, it won't work? Like,
Well, I believe after the first year, it wasn't. I wasn't checking the waters anymore. In fact, when I started, I wasn't checking the waters. It was. I could see from incidents, coincidence, and events of my life prior to that point that this was where it was leading. I was just. In fact, I could have started when I was a kid, stand up, because I had loved stand up from being a kid. So it was just like that, like going that way.
so the family, they knew you were pretty much like the comedian of the house.
I wasn't
Oh.
exactly that. Yeah, I mean, I was funny, but I don't remember me being the class clown or the guy that would make everybody laugh per se. And I've always been very introspective, even though I was playful and all of that. But I do, like, obviously when I'm with my family, when I'm with people I'm very familiar with, I could be I could be playful. But typically I was reserved, and I've never really been the social butterfly,
Okay.
even
so,
to this day.
So would you say now the mic is like your camouflage, is your mask?
Yeah. In all honesty, is how I express my art. I see stand up as an art, and I express my art that way. Stand up is quite introspective, and if you're going to do stand up very well, most times, most great stand up comics are not exactly the very ebullient people when you meet them in person.
Very like down to earth.
Yeah, I mean, they are not the most active or playful people that you would meet, especially when you're meeting them.
Okay.
They're usually laid back and observant. Yeah.
Looking for jokes. So who would you say when you started was your, should I say, you looked up to a mentor kind of thing, but someone you looked up to, an icon, someone maybe that was already doing what you wanted to do?
I have a very strong Chris Rock influence.
Okay.
I'd watched Chris Rock. In fact, Chris Rock was very instrumental because before I started stand up, one of the first, or if not the first special I ever watched was Chris Rock's. Probably never, I can't remember which it was, but I knew I'd watched like 2 or 3 of his specials before I started stand up. Of course, back home there was Alibaba, there was Basketball, there was Bovey. I got a lot of heavy influence on Bovey as well. Then I stumbled on Dave, I stumbled on Jerry Seinfeld, and all of it. So then Trevor Noah. I discovered Trevor Noah later into my stand-up days. And so these people actually had, or are still having, strong influence in my craft.
So it's good you mentioned couple, at least from Nigeria. And what is the market like? What would you say the market is like with the stand-up comedians? Do we have a lot? We don't have enough? Are they supportive of one another? What would you say? Because we know and we hear a lot of things, especially with the Nollywood movie industry. There's always a lot of negative stories coming out, So, but in the comedy sector, is it the same or no?
So here's the thing. I think we're going through a renaissance of some sort, because we did it. We did what stand-up comedy was always killing, even up until like 2012. So, but I feel like it went on a lull slightly, and that was because there was more focus on every other thing apart from the art itself, which kind of like created. So we had like a period where we were not doing. In fact, we're not focusing on releasing specials or anything. So if you had to just attend the shows to experience a comedian. And then we started organizing our shows like parties, which was why I said that it became a thing of focusing on every other thing apart from the art itself. And if you do that, the art is going to die. And so there's some form of resurgence recently in the last couple of years. We have young cats really doing great. And if you go on, now we have our specials on Netflix. I have my special on Netflix, Tito Tlar. We have quite a number of comedians with their specials on YouTube, which is absolutely great for the culture. So stand-up comedy is getting a renaissance. I mean, all this happened in the last 2 years or three. And so yeah, it's quite new. Then comedy clubs, we are having comedy clubs pop up, actual good comedy clubs in the sense of arrangement and people paying attention. They're still weekly, but we've not started the daily yet. But you can see that we're on a path. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what would you say for yourself, being this is your career, like you just mentioned, really all this just started in the past 2 years, or this, noise. Let me put it like that.
Yeah.
So before then, were you seeing it as something that you could like it was something you were going to continue to do for another couple of years? Was it something you were thinking like, oh, let me go and look for a day job? Were you getting bookings? Were you getting money? Were you getting paid?
Of course, yeah. I was getting money. I was getting paid. That's why I could do the first special. That's why I could do my second special. Again, like I said, we focused on everything apart from the art. What was really thriving at some point now became people that were stand-up comedians had to start emceeing events. And that was a way I could get booked and get money. But I'm very passionate about the craft, and so all the monies I was getting, and don't forget I'm also an actor and a writer as well, so all the monies I was getting, I was using it to build my stand-up. Because even though it wasn't paying at the time, but we had shows were happening sort of, and I would perform, but I knew I was going to record my special. And so in 2018 I did, and I recorded the first Nigerian stand-up comedy special that was released in the cinemas.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I had a theater run of like 3 weeks. Thank God I'm Funny. That's the title, TGIF.
Okay,
and it was actually to be fair, it was the first Nigerian stand-up comedy special in the digital space.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because we I mean, Basketball Uncensored. There was Basketball Uncensored. I think TA did something, but it wasn't. At best, it was on CD and all of that. But released in the digital space, in the digital era, it became a thing of, can you search and look for a Nigerian stand-up comedy special? And we didn't. But we did that in 2018, and we wanted to announce it big, so we put it in theaters, and eventually, we got that. But now it's on YouTube, anyways. So
nice. So since you've done it,
a lot of people have been doing it. Yeah, we have a lot of great, dope comedians. Forever, Ovi Godwin, Kenny Black, of course, a lot of them really doing amazing stuff. And some of these names I mentioned, they have their specials on YouTube as well. Phage, Ebuka Mike, Package. I mean, these are guys that are really pushing the culture.
So besides like Kenny Black that I knew, because I interviewed him I think about 2 years or so ago.
Interesting. Okay.
And knowing that he also had his own special on Netflix, you're the second person coming from Nigeria.
Interestingly, so mine was on Netflix Global. So it was a global thing. Technically I was so well, Kenny had his there's this why did I forget his name now? Shay Brown.
Yes.
Shay Brown also had one.
Yes.
But ours were blessed and lucky to get the global stage. So AY and I,
Mm-hmm.
they had that, which was that if you search for it anywhere in the world,
Okay.
yeah, you get it anywhere there's Netflix in the world,
World.
basically.
Okay. So the one that Shay and
Kenny did. I
Kenny
think
did.
it was regional. It was
Okay.
regional. Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know. Interesting.
Thank you.
So pretty much so far, because I'm trying to like so far, those are the 4 people
For
on
yeah,
Netflix,
technically, yeah,
literally,
technically,
right?
yeah.
So is it easy or it's pretty much hard? That's why we're not getting as much.
So obviously, every good thing takes time and hard work.
Yes.
I feel, and this is an appeal to Netflix, Prime, networks generally to give Nigeria. I mean, Nigerian stand-up comedy is over 30 years old in terms of stand-up, actual, way over 30 years old. Way over 30 years old. And we actually have the supply. And if they come and like, they should give comedians that stretch the same way they give the American comedians and all of that. People are going to always select what they want, and they should actually get into the market and see we have a lot. I just, after Teetotaler, I recorded another one in March, which was nominated and won an award at the TINF. It's not out yet. I'm recording another one next month.
Wow.
You get me. There is the supply. A lot of, I know about 4 Nigerian comedians recording their specials next month.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's serious.
Yeah. So it's there is a supply already, and it's building and it's gaining momentum. And if we have those, Nigerians will queue up and be a part of it. I feel like because of the paucity or the dearth of Nigerian stand-up comedy on platforms like Netflix or even Prime that is non-existent at all, the following that Nigerian stand-up comedy deserves has not come
yet.
Although we're doing our best with the YouTube and all of that. I feel like when people have it on a grand scale more, then they will be forced to look into it. Imagine if we had like 10, 10, and people just go and watch. I mean, the algorithm will push it.
Itself.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, my next question is, Young Legend. You've been doing this for approximately how many years?
15.
15 years.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yep.
Wow. Would you say so far you're happy with what you've accomplished so far?
I'm not there yet, but I would say I'm very grateful. I can't even complain. First stand-up comedian in Nigeria to be on in the theaters. Netflix. I've been on Netflix. I've won an award with TINF. I run a vibrant, one of the best comedy clubs in Lagos.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I host it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every Wednesday. Oh. I've been blessed. Yeah. So we've been doing a lot, and we keep doing. And there are a lot of projects in the pipeline. So I'm writing and I'm acting as well. Everything comedy. That's why I said I'm a comedian. Whole out.
So yeah. You're acting, you're writing comedy or writing films.
Everything. I write my projects, and I've done a couple. I did a web series on YouTube called Friend Zone Landlord. I wrote that. Friend Zone Landlord.
Okay.
And Indani I've written for Indani in their last series, the last comedy series. I wrote on that as well. I have my projects, my jokes. Of course, I write my jokes, and I have a movie to shoot next year, which I've written.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your own movie?
Yep. That will be my first feature film.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're doing great things.
We're trying our best.
We are busy. We are really busy.
I'm trying my best. I'm not this busy. It's not like someone gave me. I'm creating work for myself. But yeah, we thank God.
Well, it's good because, like the saying goes, if they don't open doors for you, you got to create your own.
Yeah, I mean, stand up in itself is very individualistic. I think I heard Bobby say this once. It's a very individualistic art. And art in itself is very individualistic because you want to express yourself as much as possible. And why I love stand up is that it gives me that autonomy. Like I'm the one delivering my lines. I'm the one right. So if you're going to have that kind of mindset, that's why you see most stand up comedians, they go on and make their films as well, and because they just have things in
their mind that they want to express.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, definitely. You always see them going from stand up to skits, films.
Yeah.
You know, some maybe even music.
Yeah.
And music videos.
Because stand up is the most difficult.
It's hard.
It's hard, and once you can do that, you can practically do almost any other thing.
Yeah. Interesting. The other question I had was going, during the COVID time, so many talents came out.
Fair.
And I believe maybe there was how should I put it? When we know who are stand-up comedians, we knew them. We knew who was into films, we knew them. Then we now had this sector of entertainment that came out during COVID where you have like comedians doing skits.
Yeah.
And it was like rampant.
Yeah.
How was your feeling, or how was the feeling of those who were comedians? How did you guys feel during that period when we had so much talent come out during COVID, acting and doing skits, and they're funny? So did that threaten you guys' creativity or funds that were coming towards your ends? Like, how did you guys feel? You're speaking not just for yourself, but
Yeah. Anybody, so everybody that makes people laugh in whatever form is a comedian. Nke Mowo is a comedian. Jim Carrey is a comedian. If you're funny in any given anything, but there are genres. So some people are like, there's sitcom, there's stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Now stand-up comedy is just one part of comedy, So I feel it's the nomenclature. Skit makers and content creators, like they like to call themselves, are comedians.
Yes.
Stand-up comedians are comedians. Like I said, stand-up comedy is the most difficult. And so it is easy for a stand-up comedian to do any other form of comedy. Including skit making. But or should I say, it's easier for a stand-up comedian to do any other form of comedy than for a skit maker, for example, to do stand-up. And so the fact that you're a skit maker does not exactly mean you'll make a great stand-up comedian.
Yes.
The fact that you're funny does not exactly mean you'll make a great stand-up, because stand-up comedy is a different ballgame. And so I think everybody knows this. It's the internet world. The world of the internet, there was a demand and the supply came. The demand was that I'm scrolling through my phone. It doesn't have to be boring. Content creation, because there's space available. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's TikTok. And so once there's space available, don't forget I also have I've been doing skits since I remember. I had the Bodawa skits, which actually made me very popular on social media as well. And so they're all intertwined, but yet different. And so everybody kind of knows what they can do and what they can't do. And that's fine.
So there's no threats.
There's no threat. I mean, some producers don't want to sing or don't need to sing.
Yeah.
Some singers produce, but not all singers will produce.
Yeah.
But it's kind of easier for a producer to sing. Case in point, Young John. Case in point, Fields. Case in point, Cobhams. Whenever they want to. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. I just know during that time we were hearing a lot of ruffles. We hear a lot of
but it's just people that don't understand the differences and the nomenclature. If you're okay, you cannot tell a skit maker that he's not a stand-up comedian
Yeah.
when you have an audience. I remember, in fact, there's a very practical example. There was one major skit maker that did a show, and he invited me to perform. And I got there, he didn't have a host.
Oh.
He didn't have, like, they didn't know what to do. Because he wanted to do a stage play.
Okay.
He wanted to act out what he was doing on. But he realized that there were things to be done before he came up, but he didn't make plans for it.
Oh.
I stepped in. Do you get me now?
Yes.
So that's where that's the stand-up comedian space. Stand-up comedian space is on stage. Do you get me?
Yes.
And of course, you create content out of everything now. And so, I mean, this used to be just on TV.
Yes.
Do you get? But now we put it on YouTube. So if you do your stand-up, where specials come in and they come in handy, and so they can double as a content creator as well, is to cut out your clips, record your stuff with a live audience, record it and put it out. That's where it intersects. That's if you want to be strictly a stand-up comedian. That's where it intersects.
Interesting. We're learning a lot. So one of my last questions is, you make jokes about your family.
Quite a bit.
How do they feel about those jokes?
Honestly, I've not bothered to ask. But like you see, it's an art for me, and I'm also predominantly an observational comic. I observe my family, I observe everything around me. So I make jokes about women, I make jokes about men, I make jokes about my family, I make jokes about pretty much everything I encounter. The doctors, as long as I encounter it and I process it, I'm talking about it. And yeah, I used to say this, that what a stand-up comedian talks about the most shows where his heart is. Because it means you're thinking about that thing a lot. And if I think about my family a lot, I'm going to make jokes about
them.
Do you get me? Yeah, so...
So no one has like, you're more day. I told you to stop making jest of me or stop talking about me on stage.
I dread that. Let me just put it that way. Although there have been talks of, for example, my first special, when we were recording my first special, my first show, my parents came. And there was talk of, but I did not say that. I'm like, say joke.
Don't take it seriously.
Say joke. But aside that, there's not really been any serious backlash.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, what do you call it? The question just kind of skipped my mind. Yes, the
teetotaler.
Tila.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what is that?
It's an English word.
Meaning?
Someone that does not take alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. It's a teetotaler.
It's a teetotaler, someone that doesn't drink alcohol.
Yeah. So it's teetotal, like Teetotaler.
Teetotal.
That's like the adjective. Teetotaler is the noun.
So where did you come up with that? So
I
make
come
it
up
a
with
title.
It's English.
It's not your daily word.
Apparently. Yeah, it's one of my favorite English words, actually, because I like the way it sounds. I learned it in, was it 2009? I found it fascinating. So there's a word for people that don't drink. Interesting. And a teetotaler, I like it. And I figured it would be good for my special. And if you watch the special, you will know why.
Okay, it aligns.
It always aligns. Before I set out to do a show at all, I have the script in my head, I have the jokes in my head, and I have the title as well. So, yeah.
So, is it hard for you to write, or you find it quite easy?
Writing is okay. So here's the thing: I find screenplay writing, like screenwriting, that's movies, series. I find it quite laborious.
Yeah.
Even my jokes. I mean, I don't write my jokes verbatim like I do for screen. But I just find a way to link them. I mean, there's a scripting stage, but it's not pedantic. However, I would say I find screenwriting very laborious. I find it very, very tedious, very
Yeah.
stressful.
Yes.
But I would rather screenwrite my project than delegate it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then yeah, writing. I feel writing is stressful, but it's not difficult. It's just like the way I say stand-up comedy is the most difficult. But there are other forms of comedy that are more stressful than stand-up.
Stand up, yeah.
Stand-up is very simple. If you compare it to other
Oh my
things
goodness.
where like music where you have to lay,
Yeah.
you get, or movies where you take this. But stand-up is just, but it's difficult in the artistic sense of the guts and the technicalities involved, and the fact that it's just one go. And that's exactly how it is. Writing
That's
is
nice,
tedious, it's stressful, but it's not difficult as it were for me.
So do you think that we have this Gen Z,
My people,
are they your people?
my people, sarcastic.
How do you, or do you attract them, or do you find it that it's difficult to attract them?
I think I'll marry one. I don't know. I'm just when you said attract. Fair enough. Yeah, because I mean, that's a very interesting question. Do I attract Gen Zs? I wouldn't know. I think the people that really in Nigeria, because stand up is kind of being reintroduced,
Yes.
there is a crop of generation that don't know what stand-up comedy is, and that's the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I have a lot of them at my comedy. They come to my comedy club every Wednesday. To be fair, on the other hand, we are introducing stand-up to them. So most of the fan base now, they are still millennials, people that know what stand-up is.
Yeah.
But we are recruiting them one after the other. Yeah. So
Yeah. Because definitely having someone like you that have been doing it for so long,
yeah.
you know the people, they know you, they understand the craft,
Yeah.
and, you're able to gel.
Yeah.
But this generation, whereas to me they're all about the skits, and their attention span is like,
Yeah, attention span is actually a problem. Do you know that all over the world there are more male stand-up fans than female stand-up fans?
Oh, really?
And I think this is because I have observed, and don't take this to the bank. I've observed that the females have lower attention span on things that they watch than guys. Yeah, that's what I've observed. You probably when you watch a movie, do you skip?
No, I don't.
Do you skip to the end to satisfy your curiosity and then come back?
No, I don't.
A lot of girls do that.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of girls do that. A lot of the girls even skip a stab shots or this thing, and they just feel like it's too.
Wow.
I'm sure. Ask your audience.
Then we have a
Tell
problem.
them to comment. Tell them to comment if they do.
You guys, let me know. We have a problem. We do have a problem.
I think I know a lot of girls that do that. A lot. It's actually a problem.
Wow. Because definitely, I've observed that, yes, the attention span is just, it's like a child.
Yeah.
You see these 20-year-olds and you'll be thinking like,
Every
you're
small
an
thing
adult.
like we've been discussing now, you see them, they'll pick their phone and just
Yeah,
start
they-
talking.
it's like-
Especially if it doesn't remotely concern them, or what they're watching is not so exciting. But it's not people jumping or
Yeah,
doing
or
one challenge or the other.
doing-
Once it's like people just talking,
It's like, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
stand up, obviously, stand up is 1 hour. Yeah, you're talking about 1 hour specials and you're like listening and
Yeah.
you're paying attention. Yeah, of course, all over the world is technically music, movies, then maybe stand up. So stand up is kind of niche. It's almost
Yeah.
like a documentary.
Yes.
If you think about it.
It is to me.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it also.
But it's funny,
especially
it's hilarious if that's your thing.
if that's your thing.
Yeah, I'm okay. Interestingly, I'm okay with people not liking stand up, like meeting people that don't like stand up. But
Yeah.
there's always that crop of people. It's just like visual art. I'll tell you the truth. I don't understand visual art. I don't go there. So that's my issue
don't think
with
everybody
people canceling and all of this stuff. Because you see a clip of a stand-up comedian and you feel you have a say in how the art is delivered, if when you don't even watch it, it will be crazy if I go to a gallery and I go, why is this thing so gothic? I'm not the target audience. If you see me in the gallery, yeah, or in an exhibition, I
Yeah.
probably followed woman or something. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't really. I remember when we were shooting something, Alibaba. We put the art
Yeah.
work because of visual this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supposed to shoot a scene with Alibaba. And so while we're waiting, Alibaba looked at it. This picture is upside down. I was like, sorry,
What?
we don't even know what's upside down. What's not. And so it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so there are people, art exhibitions, artists, visual artists. They're not looking for the crowd. They're not trying to appeal to the
No.
because it's not
not
really
for
going to
everybody.
be. Yeah, it's for the people that like it.
I likes it.
That's it.
I remember when me too, I'm not really a fan,
I figured.
but when I see someone that I've most likely watched them in movies,
Mm,
you know, because that's where I tend to find these comedians, then later on finding out that they actually started
we stand up.
with stand up, you know, but then I see them in the shows and the movies and I'm like, okay, they're funny, so let me watch
The stand up.
their stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, of course, with what's his name,
Kevin
Chris,
Hart,
Kevin Hart was even a bit later. It was more like
Chris Rock,
Chris Rock,
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. You know, we started with them, Eddie Murphy. You know, so it's like I do take my time and watch, and I watch from the beginning to the end.
That's beautiful.
So I'm not like skipping. I want to like understand
That's
the
beautiful.
craft.
You should watch the total. You probably might like it.
Yes, I haven't had the time because busy, but I would definitely watch it. I'm still going to give you my own, you know,
Yeah,
critic
fine.
because that's what I should do, right?
That's fine.
But yes, and I think the last one I watched was the one with what's her name, this American comedian. She's also an actress.
Tiffany,
Not Tiffany. I've watched some
Amy-
Tiffany, but
Amy Schumer,
no, she's Monique.
Monique. Oh, okay.
Right?
Interesting.
So, and I'm just like, ugh. You know, I know a lot of people were waiting for her. A lot of people waiting for her to come out, and you know, and she did. What
She's a legend.
did you think
No,
she delivered?
I've not gotten up to it yet.
Okay.
I've been very busy. I've been here for like the past few weeks, so I've not watched anything. So I kind of like still with my. So when I get back home, I do what I do best, which is sit back and do nothing.
And watch and learn and
watch
create,
and learn.
right?
Of course, that's what I do.
And then also with Dave Chappelle's last, you know how like here or in America, in America they had like the LGBT
Yeah.
plus that pretty much shut down his show.
Did they?
Well, they tried to.
Yeah.
I believe they tried to.
But
And it's what's your take on that? Do you think they were out of place, or do you think as a comedian you have to be very mindful of the jokes you make in order not to offend?
you can't police what people react to, just the same way you can't police what people say. People can get offended, but you should know you should know that you cannot do anything about it. The fact that you're offended does not mean you have a right. So for example, if somebody speaks to me in my room, talks to me in my room when I'm trying to sleep, I can get offended. But you see the truck driver outside,
Yes.
I don't have a right over him, even if I want to sleep. If my house is close to the
Highway or something, yeah.
Here's the thing: the fact that you're offended does not necessarily mean you have a right to stop the other person from his opinion. Opinions offend. Some opinions can offend me, depending on what I've been through. And so here's the thing: stand-up comedy makes light of serious issues. Technically, in fact, the glory of stand-up comedy is more felt in things that should not be joked about. And so if you're going to react to that, you are taking away a huge part of what stand-up comedy is. Then we're left with internet jokes. We're left with anecdotes. Why did the chicken cross the road? And guess what? guess what? Animal activists, animal rights
come
activists will come after you for that. And so there's no safe space. And because jokes thrive on or bots of jokes. So the joke that you think is not offensive is probably because the comedian used himself as the butt of the joke. It was probably a self-deprecating joke. It doesn't. Every joke has a victim. Every single joke that you think about has a victim, because anybody can accuse anybody of laughing at the person or laughing, and so in the end, the real funny, there is no funny in the good life of sitting in the business class and just observing you get it. I mean, my private jet, or I'm at the beach and just the good life, the smooth life. There is nothing. But you notice that when you're talking to your friends and you're talking about an incident that happened that was bad at the time, but when you're talking about it, you guys find it very hilarious. One of my favorite jokes when I talk about it is when I had an accident on Third Milan Bridge.
Oh, wow.
And I was taken to court on that account. The whole ish thing at the time was happening was traumatizing, but it is hilarious when I think about everything that happened, almost every step of the way. And that's how it is. And that's how jokes work. Jokes thrive. The glory of a joke is felt when he's talking about things that shouldn't be joked about. That's how I mean, one of my all-time favorite Chris Rock jokes, among a lot, is I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand. That's about O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
Of course, he was just playing the devil's advocate, but it was so hilarious. Yeah.
So it's dangerous. Being a stand-up comedian is you're
not
like
supposed
living
to
on
be.
the edge.
It's not supposed to be, but if you're going to watch my special, if you're going to watch a comedy special, you should know that a comedian is going to talk about things that are edgy. Don't watch it.
Yeah, don't watch if you're gonna get offended.
That's why I do not subscribe to the thing we do where we say, come and support me on my show, come and attend my show by supporting. Don't support me by attending. If you really want to support me, just send me money to do the show. But if you're coming for my show, you need to understand that there are rules. There are rules of operation here. If you're going to an art exhibition, you don't have a right. You cannot tell the artist not to draw if it's too lewd, don't come again. For you, if it's too lewd, then you know that, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me.
But if you're going, you should know what to expect in an exhibition. If you're an art head, you understand? So comedy heads kind of like know that. So you see comedy heads reacting to dark or edgy jokes, but you see the joy because they know. In fact, one of the reasons they come, one of the reasons they attend these shows is to see how edgy it's going to be this time round. Like, what's he going to say? What's he going to say? Yeah, do you get me? But you're spoiling the fun. You that you're not supposed to be there. You're spoiling the fun. That's why there's skits. If you really want to laugh, watch skits, read internet jokes, go for the vanilla stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So one last question. There's something I notice about you when you speak. You use a lot of dictionary words.
So your words are not in the dictionary.
And when I mean you use dictionary words, not your everyday English words that you use. Yeah, I noticed that about you. And I understand you started your career literally at 18, but where did you go for your postgraduate? Like, did you do masters? No,
This is so hilarious. It has absolutely nothing to do with school.
So do you intentionally study?
That's the problem. I don't even I wanted to speak Yoruba now. Since
But you do come across like someone who is highly educated when you speak.
I've always had this predilection. Oh,
you see? So no.
I've always had this knack for speaking the language, for words. Like learning new words. I think this was just from my dad trying to, oh, what's the meaning of this word? He said this word, okay, you need to have the synonyms so that you don't sound repetitive.
So was this before you started the comedy?
Before, when I was a kid,
okay,
growing
so
up, my father will make us read editorials and underline words that we don't know, or
yeah.
idioms or ways of expression. And I told you, he taught me how to write. We used to write narrative essays for my dad, and he will mark it. He doesn't give you score. He just corrects. He just keeps correcting that. Instead of writing it this way, why don't you write it this way? Instead of writing this way, then he taught us how to do the tree, which I use till this day for my specials. It's like a tree where you write how this flows, how this flows, how this flows. Then second paragraph, second part of the body, and you this flows to this links to this links to this, which is basically how I passed WAEC. English and of course narrative essay. I just used to go to narrative essay because that's what I've been prepared for. So I mean, I guess that's where that came from, and where I just like learning new words, but I don't. So here's the thing. When I was doing comedy club with, shout out to Omobaba Number One, Omobaba Number One's comedy club back then, like over 10 years ago, I noticed that when I just talk and say some words, there's that, and it became funny. So I now started to deliberately use those words just to get funny out of people. So in my comedy club, sometimes I deliberately throw around some words just to get that reaction, and that's just plain.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
And thank you, Daddy.
Shout out to Daddy.
Yes, because everybody or every artist has a niche. They have something that makes them stand out. They have a signature, and that's one of the things I've noticed about you is definitely you use dictionary words. So and I find that to be quite. That's why I'm like, wait, okay, is this man a professional doctor, professional teacher, professional something, and decide, you know what, this is not giving me joy, let me go into comedy because this is what gives me joy.
I started before. I started when I was a kid. I was 18.
It's great. It's nice because it's like a contradict.
But it's part of the job. I'm a public speaker, so it's part of. I'm speaking basically.
I understand. I understand, and I believe also. I think one of the other person I noticed does that also is Dave Chappelle, right? But it's always nice to see because it's like you do now deliver to a certain type of people. You probably will notice, right? But you see, as you're a comedian, you're always making jokes. But it's always nice when you're able to make jokes and put in some words that are like, okay, this is not your day-to-day vocabulary. Okay, like it does give that. To some viewers that were like, okay, maybe let me keep listening to this man. Maybe what does he have to say? What else does he have to bring to the table? And it's great. It's definitely great for your brand. So
thank you. I'll take it I choose to take it as a compliment.
Oh, kindly do so. Do you have any last words for your fans?
I will not have last word. Yes.
Hey, Jehovah Lord, Jehovah Lord.
I will not die but live.
Amen, amen, amen. What would you like to tell or what would you give it as a motivation to your viewers?
Motivation.
Yes. Or anyone that is trying to.
I don't believe fame and fortune are to be chased.
Okay.
I think man's fulfillment comes from doing and not having. And is in the doing that you have eventually. So the primary focus is to do. Accomplishments and achievements are the things that fulfill a man truly. There's an illusion that if you make money, you'll be happier. But it's actually an illusion. Your happiness comes from what you do. And so life is to be lived from inside out and not outside in.
Said. I approve that message. I agree with that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. So I just want to say thank you so much. But before we close the segment, I want to say shout out to DartsPay, always supporting our movement. Don't forget, if you want to transfer any funds to Nigeria or anywhere around the globe, download DartsPay on App Store, on your Play Store. And don't forget to use the code ADEBA, ADEBA, to get that discount, extra money. because when you do get as much people refer with your code, you can actually earn some cash. So go down to the App Store, download DartsPay, use your code ADEBA, and thank me later. Yes. So we definitely want to say thank you for taking your sweet. And hello, you are in Toronto, you are in Canada. I didn't even ask you, how are you enjoying our city?
No, but of course, it's been great. It's been great. I have the support of family. I have the support of you guys. I've been living the baby boy life.
Oh,
soft life. And my brother is driving me around. My brother is at my beck and call. So this is the best. So I'm going back. I have to live when the ovation is, before they start telling me to go and cook. So let me just
know when to leave.
Yeah, know when to leave. But obviously, I'm going to come back. Fingers crossed, I'm going to do a show here because I feel the love, and I've been headlining shows here as well. Like I'm headlining another one tomorrow. I don't know when this is going to air, but I'm going to headline. I headlined Chaotic Good, hosted by Tamara at the Comedy Bar.
Nice.
On last Friday. I'm headlining another one at the Tonight. I'm headlining another one at the Tonight Bar. It's great to meet comics from all around the world. It's great to perform for the locals, which is what I wanted to do. And I've performed like twice already. For the locals, for the white people, Hispanics, everybody from around the world. And that's where you test your mettle as a stand-up comedian. Yeah, that's where you prove your mettle.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Where can we follow you?
On all my social media platforms, at SLKOMEDY, SL Comedy, SLKOMEDY, SL Comedy on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, on Facebook is just SLK. That's my page.
TikTok too.
TikTok SL Comedy, SLKOMEDY.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, wait, hold on, he's missing the C, but okay, we understand. It's okay. Nice. So thank you so much for coming out.
Gracias.
And we're gonna see you soon. Congrats again on the award at TIFF, Toronto International Nollywood Film Festival.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations again. Thank you. Yes.
You all should watch out for my specials. Yeah. And go see Titotla on Netflix. Yeah.
What is it? Go and see it.
Yeah, thank you.
And leave messages.
Please do.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. We don't bite. It doesn't cost $1. Just do the needful. Thank you. Bye.